Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so happy you're here, and of course, like I always tell you, I hope you have a wonderful day so far. For everyone who is new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. What we're going to use for this DIY is a little bit different. We are going to use the smaller tumbling tower blocks, but I'm also going to use a couple of the bigger blocks because I have a whole crate full with bigger blocks, so I want to work them away and use them. So we are going to use also a couple of the bigger blocks, but you also can use only the small blocks. You don't have to use the bigger blocks, you only need to use a little bit more of your smaller blocks. So it is not a problem, I just want to work mine away. So we have here a container with everything inside, but the most important is the wood glue. Of course, you can use some hot glue, but especially with this one, I would be careful because you don't want that it breaks. I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel, which is wet to wipe away the glue. And of course, this is my paint, but of course, you can change it up any way you like. And maybe I even choose another color. We will see. So these are the main pieces we need for this DIY. And we are going to make a kind of a different tier tray. So we will see how this will turn out. So you see already for the bottom, I'm going to use my bigger blocks. And you see in comparison with the other one, it really is much different. In the description box, you find the measurement of the blocks from the bigger blocks and the smaller blocks. But you see already, it is much different. And if you use one of them, you also, two of them, you can have 1.5 block extra. So if you have, I have 2 rows of 9 for the bigger blocks, but you can easily look for it, then go and just measure out, very simple, what you need for the bottom, how many you need over here. And of course, this, I'm almost there. You can get it a little bit smaller than this one, but you can also do 1 extra. So you need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for your smaller blocks, and then you can make it as wide as you like. So we use 2 rows of 9 for the bigger blocks. And you always, like I told you, you find the measurements of the bigger and the smaller blocks in the description box in most of the videos. Not all the time, because I also use in this moment the smaller blocks only. I only want to make up my own box of bigger blocks. So again, we're going to squeeze them, and in a moment I give you the centimeters how wide my bottom will be, so you can measure it out with your smaller blocks. And you can even use a thicker piece of cardboard if you even don't want to use the blocks for the bottom. So again, we're going to squeeze them, and the last bigger blocks that I have, this one are so crooked. They are really so crooked. So I really have to work my way around all the bad blocks. So again, we're going to place it straight up, wipe away the glue, and we're going to do this side, and then we're going to squeeze it together again. Always go back and make the back side clean also. But you also do this with your smaller blocks the same. You clean up your mat, place it this way, wipe away the back side, always do it fast, and be sure that everything sticks nicely together. And what I also don't like on the bigger blocks, it's really you can't make little small pieces. With the smaller blocks you can make bigger pieces, it only costs you more blocks, but with the bigger blocks I can't find the little pieces with it. So I mean, the finishing touch is always big and volume, and I don't like that. So I'm really happy always with the smaller blocks. You can make little things with it, and this is always a little bit tricky, or else you always have to saw your pieces. So I'm going to give this a couple of minutes drying. So in the meantime, I'm going to use 2 rows of 3 for the bigger blocks. Again, do some glue on the top side and roll them together this way and also this way. And we're going to squeeze them, and we're going to clean them up, and we're going to give them also a couple of minutes drying. So now I'm going to place one of them on the side. I'm going to do some glue on the top side over here. And I'm going to place it down and place it together so we can easy fill in the open gaps we have over here. And also don't forget the sides over and this way, press all of them together. And if you have a great eye, you already see how crooked they are. They are here much longer, they are here totally open. This is really, now I'm working with them. I didn't work with the bigger blocks, I think maybe for a year, a little bit more than a year. And they are really, now I realize how how difficult it was with the bigger blocks, because it's really not always fun to work with. So now we're going to place one of the three on the side. We're going to do some glue on the smallest line, and we're going to place it together this way over here, and we do here the same. And you see he is still falling down. How many glue I do, he still is going down. And again over here I do a little bit extra over here. So I let you know at the ending of my DIY if I am happy with this experiment with the bigger blocks or not. So we will see. I'm going to squeeze them and let them rest in for at least a half hour. So I will give you the measurements of my bottom, and the bottom is in centimeters 21. You can do it a little centimeter wider, that is not a problem. And he is 18 over here, so 18 and 21. And in inches he is 8.1 inches against 7.1 inches. So like I told you, I'm going to let you know at the ending, but I know now why I stepped over from the bigger blocks to the smaller blocks, because this will be probably one disaster. Maybe at the end I'm happy, but I know now again it's coming back. I'm an old lady that this is really these blocks are really bad. I hope you have better ones. So if you use the measurement of the bottom the same like I have in the smaller blocks, then these sides are fitting on top of there. I have 4 rows of 10 of the smaller blocks, but what I'm going to do, I don't know if you have the bigger blocks. If you don't have them, just do 4 rows of 10 of the smaller blocks. I'm going to replace 4 of mine out of here, and I'm going to place one over here, one over here, and one over here, and this one in the middle. So you see, and now the measurements are almost the same. So I'm going to do 2 of the smaller, 1 bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, and 2 smalls. And it's the same measurement like 10 small blocks. So you can use 10 if you only have the smaller blocks. So I'm going to do this with all the 3 rows also over here. And then we're going to glue them together. So you see, this is how mine are looking like right now. I have the 3 bigger ones and the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 smaller ones. So if you have the bigger ones also, you have the same like I have right now. So we're going to glue them together on the smallest line. I already noticed that this DIY is a little bit chaos. So I'm sorry for that already in front, because this is for me also a long time for the bigger blocks. So again, over here, and now I do realize why I did quit the bigger blocks. But of course, like I told you, I have still a crate laying around, and that's what I want to make at least use. So this is already 1. Now we're going to do number 2, and you do very easy, you row them together. And of course, here you don't have to make the line too long, and so you get a little bit of a different texture in your sides of your tray. That's the only positive thing about it. And you row them together. I do this after each other, because or else it takes much too long of your time. So over here and over here. And let me know in the comments if you work with the bigger blocks or if you work with the smaller blocks. I would love to know. And what your experience is with the bigger blocks. Am I the only one who have the bigger blocks who are really so crooked, or is there more people with the bigger blocks who have the same problem. And again, we're going to squeeze them, work your way from the inside to the outside, and you see already he wants to pop up, but that's not what we want. And we do here the same, squeeze it and squeeze this one. And when they are cleaned up, I'm going to place them straight up, so I'm going to get a nice clean. And of course you can use your carpenter square just to make it easy and place them against yourself. I'm making myself difficult. I have one laying around, but I do it this way, but you can use the carpenter square. So you see now we're placing our pieces one this way, two this way, and over here we place this one straight up, place this one straight up, and this one straight up, and this one. And we're going to place them together, so we only do it dry before we're going to glue it. So we place this one down, we do some glue on the ending over here and over here on the inside at the ending, and we do here the same, and on this side the same also. And now it's very easy, you just place it straight up, and you're going to place it against here. You place this one straight up, and you place it also against here. Then you give it a little bit of pressure, not too much. When you're happy with how it stays, then let it dry in for at least 15 minutes. So now you see my bottom, and he is really so bad. He is really so bad. You see here it is not fitting, here it is not fitting, this is too small, this block is the same length but is here much wider, here is missing a little piece. It is really bad, but that's also DIY. I think a lot of you have the same problem like I do. When you normally look at DIYs, everything goes perfect and it looks so high-end, but this doesn't look high-end. This really is awful. And that's what I DIY also, because like amateurs like me, and probably you have the same problem, that it doesn't work always the way you see it on the videos. So what I'm going to do, because I don't even dare to turn this one over, because the bigger blocks here are also so crooked. So I measured out a little, so I need to stay out of the line a little, and if everything is correctly, then I can easily place it on top. So we will see, it costs a little bit more of your glue, but we have to be sure that it doesn't break. So we're just going to go over, and then we hope that he falls on top of here and that we have the measurement we need. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes drying before we're going to place it on top. So I did wait a couple of minutes, and now there can be two possibilities. It can go right, that it just goes on top, but it also can be that he really falls totally in each other. So I have to glue everything together again. So, and I did it already with this one. This one also fell. He was already a half hour drying, but the bigger blocks still did fall apart with wood glue. Now that's normally not going to happen. If I use the smaller block, glue them together, most of the time in 15 minutes I can easily, and even in a couple of minutes I can easily go further with my DIY. But I always say it's a challenge to get this right also, because a lot of you have the same problem that I have now. So we're going to place it on top of here, and we're going to look for that we have it where we want to have it. So all of them have a little bit of glue. Make sure that you have on each side, we're going to go a little to this side, and that we have an even space around it, because I measured it out, because I want to have a little border around here. So if you have them on the place you want, then you get a small brush like this one, and just make it wet, and then go around on the sides and remove the glue you don't want, because we needed a little bit more glue, because or else I couldn't see what I was doing. So again, go around and remove the glue, and over here, of course. And I take my time for it, and then we're going to do the next step. So now we're going to make the second layer of our tier tray, and I have again 8 bigger blocks and 8 bigger blocks here, so 2 rows of 8. I'm going to give you also for this one the measurement in a moment so you can measure it out for your smaller blocks. So again, we do the smallest line on the side, we do with some glue and we roll them together this way. Over here. Oh, you see already this one big mess. This is not the day I should have done it. That's you see, I don't even do it down and the glue is already coming out. So, so it's really one big mess, but it is a mess and it's not, we have to work with it. Again, we're going to squeeze it. I think there are a lot of watchers who are thinking, who are new here and think, oh my, what's she doing? What is this for channel? I totally understand. If I was looking at myself, I would think the same way. But I hope you stay to the end and maybe give it a try yourself. So, because DIYing is fun, but it's also a challenge for everyone. So again, we're going to place it straight to the side, place it straight up, clean up your mat, turn it over, and you see already this one is also crooked. We're going to clean it up. We do it straight up, clean our mat, and we place it down, and we clean the back side. Always when you, and that's for the small blocks the same, always when you want to do the back side, do it fast and place it straight up. So fast and straight up. Then it works always much better. So we're going to give it a couple of minutes drying. So now I gave it a couple of minutes and of course he's still not totally dry yet. I'm going to do some glue on the smallest line on top, and that's everything is the same when you use the smaller blocks. Again, fill them up, fill in the open gaps as much as you can. This way and this way. Place it together. And we're going to let this dry in for at least 15 until a half hour. So I will give you also the measurement of the top layer of the tray, and this one is in centimeters. He is 18 and a half, and in centimeters he is, this side is 13 and a half. In inches he is 7.2 inches, 7.2, and over here he is 5.5 inches. So now you have also the measurement you have to use for just take your small blocks, make your piece and just measure out how many you need, and then everything, the sides will completely will be okay. So again, I'm going to place this aside and we're going to do the sides. So if you're using the smaller blocks for the sides, you need 2 rows of 7 and 2 rows of 9. So 2 of 9, 2 of 7. Of course, I'm going to change mine up. I'm going to place some bigger blocks in it, and I'm only going to use 2 on each side. So I'm going to take 3 blocks out, do 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. And if everything is correctly, then it is almost the same measurement as your 9 blocks on the smallest line. So again, I'm going to take 3 out, do 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. So I get the same. So if you have the bigger blocks also, then you can use them too. I'm going to try if I'm going to get also 2 blocks on this side because they are less. So I have to look for that. I think I'm going to place this one over here, and then I'm going to look for the greatest thing you can easily with look. So you see already I have 1 too much. So I have to look for if this is, I don't know, I think this way and this way, and now he will be fine. Yes, this is the way. And again, I'm going to show you 1 small, 1 big, 2 small, 1 big, and another small one. So again, 2 big over here and this one, and then you are already have the same. And again, measure it out with each other so you don't get mistakes. So I have now my rows. I'm going to glue very easy, glue them together. So again, over here, and you don't have to glue the bigger one in totally, only a little piece, and you easily roll them together. And this one, and over here, and over here, And let me know in the comments also down below if you like tier trays, or maybe that's totally nothing that you like. And maybe you can let me know also what you enjoy the most on the tumbling tile blocks, if you are using them also. I think they are so great because it is wood and you can make really almost everything out of it. I try also most of the time some animals, some houses, some trays. And in a moment, in a couple of days, we're going to start with the 4th of July DIYs. So you can go so many ways with your blocks. So again, it's a little bit tricky to glue them together this way, because when I cleaned everything up, then I'm going to go back and place it straight up to be sure that all of my pieces are straight on the underside, because we need to have a straight line over here. So again, I'm going to clean it up and make them straight. So now you're going to place them, even when you have your smaller blocks, place them in this direction, and then you're going to place them straight up, dry, don't glue yet. Always first go measure out where it needs to be and if everything is fitting nicely. And because when you have your glue on it, it will be one big mess. So again, over here, I think I'm going to, over here, place it down, and I'm going to do some glue on the side over here, and over here, and on this one, and on this side. And we're going to place it straight up against here, and here the same. And now we're going to work with it and until we have the shape we like. And this one needs to go to the outside a little, and then give it a little bit lightly some pressure. If you're happy with how it is looking, then you have to let it dry in for at least, I think, 15 until 20 minutes. So now we get the same problem with this one, because everything is crooked, like you know. So we are going to glue this one on top of here, but I already measured out that this is a little bit different measurement than the other one. So I'm going to try it to place it upside down, and if it crashes, we will see how this is looking like. So I'm going to do just over the lines, we're going to do some glue. Make sure that all the pieces have a little bit of the glue, and we're just going to easy place it straight over, and we place it on top of here. So we have to look for that we have it on the place we want to have it, and then we're going to press it down over here, and then always go look on each side if you are happy with where he is standing, or else you have to move him a little bit. Yes, I think mine looks now great, so I'm going to press it down a little bit more over here, and I'm going to get my brush again, and I'm going to wipe away the glue. So, and here you see the two pieces. If everything is correctly, you have the same, or you have them in the smaller blocks, but they are the same sizes. So, and of course you can use, because they are big, you can use them also like organizers. So you can even leave them this way, and you have a little crates you can use for organizing. It will be a very different two-tier tray than you used to, but we are going to make now the middle piece. So now I took 12 bigger blocks, because I want to have in the bigger one and the smaller one in between, I want to have a space that I even can do something in between. So I make it a little higher. You get in a moment the measurement for if you use the smaller blocks. So I'm going to get 4 of them. So I'm going to make a square out of it. So we can do some glue on the side, place it straight up, and we place this against here, over here. We do some glue on this one, over here, and we place it on the inside over here, and we do here some glue on this one and on the inside of the wider side. And if everything is correctly, you can easily fill in this one, and you have a nice square over here. And you do the same with the smaller blocks, only you have to make it a little higher. And you can of course give your own privilege, what you like the best, but the space in between the bigger box and the smaller box. So I'm going to do, this is one, I'm going to do another one. So you do some glue on the smallest line, you do them against each other this way, you do again some glue on this side, You place it on the inside of this one, and then you do the last one only with 2 lines of glue, and this will be on the inside over here. So again, and if everything is correctly, you can easily fill it in, squeeze it together this way to get the shape you like. And now the last one, because I do 3 together, and I think 3 is probably a couple of maybe 5 high for the smaller block. So I'm going to tell you in a moment, but the making is the same. You do the end, of course, on the inside, and if everything is correctly, you get it fitting again over here, squeeze it, and we're going to let it dry in, and then you get, for me, the how many from this kind of little squares you must make for your smallest one. So I have now my 3 pieces not glued together, but I have them on my table, and I see already my smallest blocks. You can do 4 of this kind of squares, then he's a little bit smaller, but you also can do 5 if you want to have the space in between a little bit more. Then I should make 5 of this kind of squares, but 4 is also enough. So now I'm going to do some glue on the inside over here, and of course on this one on the inside, and we're going to place them together this way. Make sure that you have everything fitting nicely, and of course turn it around and make the same shape you want. And then of course also place it straight up, because you want to have it straight. Also on the underside, because it has the glue in between your pieces. So make sure that your boxes of your pole in between is also straight. So I'm going to let this dry. So now we have the pole in between. We're going to place this aside. Now we're going to get 2 of 3 blocks and 3 bigger blocks like this. We're going to do some glue on the wider side of the block over here. Place it on top, and do some glue over here. Place it on top. We do here the same. Over here, place it on top. And we do this one on top, place it on the side, squeeze it together, and this way. And you do here also, do it on the side, squeeze it. And we're going to make sure that we have a straight line. We're going to wipe away the glue. And of course, we're going to turn it over and do the back side. Always go back, that you have a straight line. Do here the same, turn it over, do the back side. And again, go back. And for everyone who has really good eyes, can already see how crooked they are. We are going to do immediately some glue on this one. And we're going to place them together, so I'm sure that everything is glued nicely together, or else it doesn't work anymore. And again, over you see already how difficult it is to keep a straight line with these blocks, because they are totally going out of line. I hope you can see it, but it really is a task to work with. So I'm going to let this dry. So if you use the smaller blocks, you have 3 double is also the same like you have with this 3 double. So you can do 3 double here. You can do again another one of 3. And I think I should go for 3 times 3, because then he's a little bit higher, but I think he's a little bit nicer to look at. So yes, I would go for, but if you don't like it, you do too high, but then it's a lot lower. But I would go for 3 double of the smaller tumbling towel blocks for the inside of the smallest crate, the inside, and then we can go and make a handle. For the handle, we have 6 blocks. We're going to do 2 of them. We do some glue over here, place it together, do some glue over here and place it together. We're going to squeeze them. We're going to squeeze them over here, and we're going to give it a little moment of drying. So now we're going to take our 2 double block, and we have here the smallest line on the top side. We're going to place this one on the side. What we're going to do, we do some glue on this side and some glue on this side. Place it down. You do here the same, over here and over here, and place it down. And now we're going to very easy fill it in with the 2 loose blocks, and we're going to give it some pressure. Make sure that the blocks stay in between, so you get a nice kind of handle. So we're going to press it together and let it dry in for a half hour. So, and if you're going to use it for your with your smaller blocks, then I would go easy. You have here your 3 high if everything is correctly, and you have 2 of the blocks. You're going to do one. I can better show it you this way. You place this one, and this one in between, and you just have a nice little kind of a rectangle shape. So very easy. So you do 2 loose blocks, place 2 of the smaller blocks over here, and then later you can place your piece on top of here, and then you have the same like I have in a moment also, but then from the smaller blocks. But you also can go for a little bit wider. If you like it wider, you can go, of course, maybe for 2 wide, and then maybe 2 in between, and then also again if you want to have a bigger one. But I would go for myself, I would go for this one. But that's of course your own privilege what you like. So now we're going to do some glue on the top side over here. And we're going to place this over here in the middle. Make sure that you glue everything nicely together, and we're going to let this rest. And now we have all the pieces loose, and we're going to paint it first before we're going to do everything together. So we're going to start with painting all the pieces. Of course, you have in totally 4 pieces. You have a crate, a bigger crate, you have a smaller crate, you have a pole in between, and you have your handle. Of course, you can do some feet under here if you like that, maybe some beads. I do some felt under it because I don't want mine to be too high. So I'm going to go for felt on the underside. So first I'm going to get my acrylic paint, and I'm going to do it in the kind of dark gray black color, because that's most of my pieces in my home. So I'm going to paint all the 4 pieces before we're going to glue everything together. That's a little bit easier to do for the inside. So I take my time for it. I won't bore you with that. So you see already how much a DIY piece turns when you're going to paint it. I am always amazed when you do it in the neutral tone colors. It looks most of the time nice, but when you give it a paint color, it always changes up so much. So that's why I always love painting it, because you see it under your hands, you see it change. So that's always the greatest relaxing for me to paint my pieces. So you see already I have the smallest box upside down, and I have here my bowl, and I'm going to do some glue under here. I'm more on the inside than the outside, so I'll try to keep it more on the inside, and I'm going to place it exactly in the middle over here, and then let it fall down, and we're going to let it dry in for at least a half hour. Then I'm going to get my brush, and I'm going to wipe away the little bit of glue which is sticking out. So in the meantime this is drying, I'm going to get my little filts, and I'm going to get 2 of the square ones, and I'm going to cut them in half, because I only need 4 little pieces for on the underside of my tray. So you see it over here, and you see already I didn't paint the underside, because why? You don't see the underside. And I'm going to place this one in the corners. I'm going to do this one in this corner really close to the ending, because I want that it is really nice over here. And I do this side over here, and of course I don't think you can see this side, but believe me, I'm going to stick it off. So again, and this one on this side. And now we're going to turn it over. So now I have this placed on my filts. And of course, always go back when you have a clean brush and you see that it's not totally dry yet, and you still see some spots which is a little thicker of the paint. Always go back with a clean brush and just dab it so it dries a little faster than if you leave it this way, because you want to decorate it, and or else you have everything under the paint, and that's not what you want. So always go back in the little corners with a clean brush and make sure that everything dries a little faster. I'm going to do on the top some glue, but more a little on the inside than on the outside. Again, the same like we did with the other one. So over here, and I'm going to let it settle in a little moment before I'm going to turn it and place it in the middle over here. So I let it suck in a little bit, a couple of minutes. Now I'm going to carefully, because everything is still not totally dry yet, So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to place it exactly in the middle over here. And I'm going to look for if I have it in a straight line, and then I'm going to give it some pressure and let it dry. So you see, now we have our 2-tier tray and we only need to place up, of course, our handle. So I'm going to do some glue on this. Oh, you see, but it is better when you place the lid of your glue. That's always better. I'm going to do some glue. It's a little bit tricky because my camera is not too high, so I'm going to place this one exactly in the middle over here, and I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to keep it in place, but you see in a moment the quick impression. And you see finally a quick impression of my Tumbling Tile Blocks 2-tier tray. And of course it was a little bit of a chaos. I'm sorry for that. Of course, I hope you give this one a try, because it's also a nice kind of experiment to do to yourself. How far can you go with crooked blocks? So I hope you enjoyed, even with the chaos. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, everyone who is new here, I hope you enjoy even what you saw. And if you do and you're not subscribed to our channels, I hope you will click the red subscribe button, give it a thumbs up and hit the bell so you will be notified every time I upload new DIYs. Everyone, have an amazing day and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.